Hello and welcome to Weirdly Obsessed with your hosts Mandy, Martino, and Lisa Wallen.
And today's uncommon interest on our Weirdly Obsessed podcast is celebrity obsessions, which is not a good thing. I start out by talking about how Twitter has reshaped how people look at celebrities, the parasocial relationships they have with them, including you, Taylor Swift fans, and you K-pop fans as well. And then we talk about our own weird celebrity obsessions we had when we were teenagers.
I'm obsessed with Billie Joe Armstrong still. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe, share with a friend, and enjoy.
Unemployment has been productive.
When I was on unemployment, it was the hardest I've ever worked in my entire life.
Must be nice.
Are you kidding
By
me?
hardest work, does that mean looking at a lot of Instagram reels? 'Cause what do we mean by hardest work?
I wrote a pilot. I just was living my best life like a full-time writer.
You know what I'm doing unemployed? I am hosting this podcast, which is called the Weirdly Obsessed Podcast. Wow.
You know what? Hosting a podcast really makes me feel like popping up a cold one.
Oh my God. Speaking of which, can we talk about, now that dry January is over, what I'm about to drink and why?
Okay, so I did dry January. I do it. I started.
Must be nice, right?
I started last year because I have a problem, and I figured dry January is just a great month to try to prove to yourself that you're not an alcoholic. And that's what I think dry January is for. I made it through.
I thought it was because you're broke after the holidays.
It's just a great time for a few things.
I like how yours had morals to it. Mine was just like, I shouldn't be spending money on booze. I'll spend it on video games.
I don't know if trying to prove to yourself that you're not an alcoholic is a good thing, but but this is the funny thing. So to get through dry January, and I've never done this when I've done it before, I got addicted to non-alcoholic beers.
Nice.
And they're so good because you can drink them all the time.
Yeah, it says Athletic Brewing Company. It's like yelling at me.
All right,
it's
cheers.
like, see how in shape you are now that you don't drink alcohol?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's actually really good.
It's so good.
I had a non-alcoholic IPA that tasted just like pennies. So this one
Ew.
actually tastes good.
It's not a sponsor, if you guys are wondering.
This one actually doesn't taste like an IPA. That's why. Like, I always think IPAs are like, I think men order IPAs to trick women into thinking that they know a lot about beer. I was like, no one actually enjoys the taste of it, but this one's actually really good.
I literally am obsessed. I have had, through dry January, I've had at least a few of these a day. I just love it.
It's really good.
I love beer so much. And I'm like, it made me think, like, do I like getting drunk or do I just like drinking? I know I like also getting drunk, but I think I like drinking more these days. Mm-hmm. I love drinking.
Oh my God. I didn't tell you this, but when I first started doing comedy, I had a beer podcast.
Really?
With 4 other comedians, which is why I didn't last.
How did you schedule that?
It was, we couldn't. It was awful. It was my friend's idea, Chris Rodriguez, bless his heart. It was called, we wanted to call it Another Round. We thought it was great, but it was taken. So he came up with Belly Laughs and Brews, which is a terrible name for a podcast.
Yeah, I like the first one.
But this is 2014. And our whole thing was that we wanted to go to different breweries, interview the brewers, how they make it, and all it was is just us getting drunk at breweries every week.
That's kind of fun.
The podcast was chaos. One of us would cry eventually. It was just a therapy it didn't last very long, but it also made me realize that I actually don't like getting drunk as much as I actually really love the taste of beer.
I can't believe you agree with me. I feel like I thought nobody would. That's why I'm obsessed with these.
I mean, I drink other things to forget about my problems. But if I'm like, I think of it this way. If I'm going to go out and drink with someone and I want to save money and pace myself, I'll always get a beer. Mm. If I'm going to eat food, though, I can't get beer because it fills me up.
Same.
Yeah. If I'm going on a date, though, I want to get fucked up so that I don't remember what happens.
Martini, tequila.
Yeah. I'm a gin and tequila person. I have always been.
I like gin.
And a whiskey. I look like someone right now who drinks a lot of gin and whiskey and beer. So, well, I'm really happy that your addiction this month was, it's safer than a normal addiction. Honestly, mine is I just can't stop looking at Twitter beef on the internet, which I hate how much I talk about Twitter because I really don't like it anymore. But I think, again, this is an obsession. It's like I don't actually love going on Twitter, but the minute I find something, I'm fascinated by it. Like the big one was a couple months ago. Do you remember the Jonah Hill situation that happened?
I know their divorce with Sophie. Is that what her name is?
Well, again, this will be a great transition to our topic today, but I'll just tell you this. Like a couple months ago, he was sending her a list of boundaries he had in his relationship. And she's a professional surfer. So he's saying, you can't post pictures on the internet of you in a bikini. And it's like,
oh, Jonah Hill. I was thinking Jonas Brothers.
Oh yeah, they're exactly the same person. But which is also a good one because it's like I saw a tweet that was so funny because people were blowing up about how he has no right to do this and blah 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 and his therapy show. Yeah. And the tweet was like, I hate Twitter because I did not have an opinion on Jonah Hill until now, and now I hate him, and it's ruined my day. And that is exactly what happens every time I go on, which is honestly just a perfect transition in today's topic because this is a big one.
This is a really big one.
This is a big one. Do you want to announce the uncommon interest today?
Yes, I would love to. So this episode's uncommon interest is celebrity obsessions,
which we all are. We all are obsessed with them. This could be honestly it'll probably be a series because there's so many different realms of celebrities obsession. Like I just want to share this real quick before I even talk about what made me want to do this is that we try to do this thing. You guys have noticed it if you've stuck around. If you have, thank you so much. We're trying to stay formatted. We're trying to do like this whole look something up online, talk about it. And so I went onto Reddit and I typed in celebrity obsessions. The first 3 biggest or only subreddits are r/celebrity feet, 121,000 members.
Celebrity feet?
r/celebrity armpits.
What?
84,000 members. And r/celebrity belly. 86,000 members. So yes, there's definitely layers to the celebrity obsessions, but I don't like seeing the digits of people in these communities.
No.
I found out that oh my God, and I'm doing it right now. I looked myself up on Reddit and I am in r/crossed legs. What? Someone has a crossed leg fetish and put my fucking legs on there.
No way.
And it's nothing sexy. I'm just sitting like this, but someone's like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, so anyways.
Crossed legs fetish?
Yeah.
I really want to do, and we will do this. I want to do a fetish episode for sure.
I mean, I feel like every episode's a fetish episode. We haven't done celebrity obsessions versus fetishes, so there's our next episode. Anyways,
yeah, this will be a series.
So the reason why I want to do, well, for one thing, let's do the normal podcast thing. Let's talk about the different types of celebrities obsessions because I am very excited to get into today's topic, and I just
okay. I have some info for you guys. So when I was looking into this, there was so much more.
You didn't find celebrity belly?
I didn't find celebrity armpit.
I'm traumatized from my research, but it's fine.
What were you searching? It's so funny you said that though, because I was lurking this comedian and I went to her Linktree and on it was a private thing, and I guess it's her OnlyFans, and it says, or like click for like feet and armpits.
Well,
and I'm like, what?
And you're armpits? Like, I have to click it.
So I jerked it for about an hour. And
my friend hides her armpits in photos.
I didn't know the armpit was a thing. I think armpits are so ugly.
I didn't know crossed legs were a thing.
Oh God. All right. Well, so I looked up the obsession thing when I was doing my deep dive. And I just want to break down some of the differences because there's a lot more to it than I thought. So there's like celebrity obsessions, which we would think like you're obsessed with a celebrity. So the 2 different ones are, there is celebrity worship syndrome, which is constantly stalking your favorite celebrity, always looking for the means to meet your favorite celebrity, inability to control yourself from finding more information about your favorite celebrity. They don't have to keep saying favorite celebrity. You're always thinking about your favorite celebrity.
That sounds called a cult.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. And you are not concerned about yourself and are more concerned about your favorite celebrity. So there's, celebrity worship syndrome. And then there's celebrity obsession disorder, which is an obsessive addictive disorder in which a person becomes overly involved with the details of a celebrity's personal and professional life. So, I don't know.
I feel like they're both kind of the same. I'm comparing it to me being obsessed with a video game character. There are times where I think about them more than me. Want to know what they're doing all day. But that's crazy to me because that is a cult.
It does. It makes me think a lot about Jesus.
And thinking of cults, let's talk about Swifties. Because Taylor Swift fucking fascinates me. Everything about her fascinates me, and I do not listen to any of her music.
That's what fascinates me.
Do you listen to her though?
See, I love her music, but I don't like her following. The Swifties are too much.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
For me, I actually shout out to Chappelle Lacey. I just did his podcast. I was saying my version of like the Swifties is because here's the thing is like Taylor Swift is our age, right?
Yeah.
And so she started writing music when she was like 14. So people who were 14 listening to her grew up with her. My version of that was like Blink-182 basically, or like Brand New, or like all the emo bands. But there was never a part where it's like I felt like I was devoted to her, and that's or devoted to them, and that's the thing. And so the reason why I want to talk about this is because it's very relevant right now. Is obviously Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce. Everyone wants to hear about it because she's had a horrible history of dating guys. Again, I don't listen to her. I am just so involved in her life somehow. And this is what set it off is now he's going to be in the Super Bowl. There's a video of her kissing him at the end. And the video is fine. It's 2 seconds of her. He kisses her. He moves on to his teammates, right? She didn't steal the spotlight or anything, but the internet thought that she did. And now there's this conspiracy, which I will say to you right now, because this is why I got into it and I started getting fascinated.
I didn't hear any of this.
Is that there's this idea that Republicans thinks that liberals conspired to get Taylor Swift to date Travis Kelce and then somehow rig the playoffs because they think that this abstractly helps Biden because she supports him.
Holy shit. No way.
And there's like a whole thread of this. There's memes about how they took like a picture of her tour where it's like pink and blue and like purple, and how the Super Bowl logo matches her tour colors.
Oh, God.
It is insane. And it's like all she did was just show up. And then so there's that side of it where like all these men are angry about it. And then there's the Swiftie sides of it where it's like, and this is the difference, I think, between Taylor Swift fans that are obviously obsessed with her versus us being just fans of an artist, is that they will do anything for her and they will stop to no one to make sure that no one brings her down. Like she could tell people, and that's the thing, is that she has so much power and it scares people. Like if she tells her fans to vote for someone, they'll do it. That is a cult. Like, and that's crazy to me. And so I went on Wikipedia. I was looking all things up about how like the army will like, that's what they're called, her army.
Jeez.
How she'll be like, oh, I donated this organization. And then all of a sudden the organization has the most donators it ever had ever because they will do anything that she does. And that is terrifying me. And I can't imagine how that feels like for her.
That's a lot of pressure.
Right?
Like any choice you make, all these people are going to follow. Yeah. Well, that's why I think Taylor Swift a couple years ago, maybe the last election, I remember it was the first time she spoke up about politics. Because I feel like her publicists and stuff were like, no politics. And it was like, I remember it was on the news, Taylor Swift talking about politics.
Yeah, and it's that thing, it's that like, everyone's like, I hate it when celebrities bring politics into things. And it's like, well, sadly, more people will listen to the celebrities that they worship or that they're obsessed with than actual politicians. Because you should not be obsessed with a politician ever.
No, that's really weird.
Again, I don't listen to Taylor Swift, guys. I do not care about her music. I don't hate it, but I have been to 2 Taylor Swift dance parties.
Dance parties?
On accident. I did a club in Seattle Hereafter. They're amazing. They have 3 stages, and after you're done with your show, you can see what else is going on. And twice there has been a Taylor Swift dance party that has sold out of like 300 to 500 people, women in their 30s on drugs crying, while some guy up there is pressing a button.
Oh,
like
my God. Is the dancing just jumping up and down?
Yeah, it's not like she makes club music, but it's crazy. Like, everyone comes in costumes. They dress up as different eras of her albums. Like, I have never seen this with another celebrity ever. I can't even think, like, even like, you know, Beyonce, Britney Spears, like all the pop stars I had growing up, even Michael Jackson. It's like, I don't remember this is insane to me. And it's so fascinating because to me, I'm like, she's all right.
I think the other one that people are obsessed with, if I'm going to think of another to compare with, would be Britney Spears.
Yeah, but even then, and this is what the next thing was I was going to talk about, is that it's like, it's the internet growing over the years. Because like back when we were, you know, obsessed with celebrities, which we'll get to in a bit, like I wasn't able to have like go online right on time and like comment and say things. I had to wait for my dad to like hang up the phone, you know, like it was like a whole day to go online. You had to listen to dial-up internet. Like there was no divider. There was a divider between you and people online, but now it's just so accessible.
Yeah, it's different. I think with the Travis Kelce stuff, my friend and I, Grace, we were talking about how we like Taylor Swift. I don't know any of this stuff. That's probably why I like her music.
Which is so funny. You listen to her and I'm like, I know her blood type. Like, it's
but we were saying like her at the football games is like mixing friend groups. You don't ever want to mix friend groups.
Right.
Like, I love Taylor Swift. I love football. I don't want to watch football and see Taylor Swift. You don't want to bring your work friends around your stand-up friends. It's uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
It looks wrong.
And the whole thing is that she doesn't have control of that.
She's just watching her boyfriend.
Yeah. Like, it's just like, and that's what people forget. It's like, they don't realize that she's still a human. And I think that's where the celebrity obsession thing goes wrong. It's like the fucking character on my hand, he doesn't know that I'm not gonna be like, Reagan, if you're real, like, he's not a real person. It's okay for me to like be grossly obsessed with him. Actually, it's not. I probably need therapy. And it's like, imagine all that pressure on Travis though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, imagine if they broke up, like, he would never play football again. Like, the Swifties are, like, wearing his name on his back as, like, we're watching you. Like, not because we're fans, just be like, we're on you. Like, that's how they're treating it. And I'm like, that's funny to me. But Jesus, like, I hope she is in therapy. And I hope he is too. And I hope celebrities have to go through training to deal with things like this, because I can't imagine it's easy.
Definitely not. They said that the Kansas City views when she first started going, it was the highest views they've ever had. The views went up for a football game.
Yeah.
Why? Like, that's crazy to think. I like this person so much. I'm gonna watch a 3-hour game I don't care for just to hope she pops onto the camera.
You're not gonna watch a YouTube recap of all the times Taylor Swift showed up on camera.
Yeah, you're gonna watch it live.
Yeah. I mean, like for me, the most I've done is like, I remember I was really obsessed with Blink-182 when I was a kid, and they were on an episode of The Simpsons. And I was like, I have to watch this episode. And I was so pissed because they literally show up in 2 seconds. It's the one when Tony Hawk was in it. I even remember their exact lines because Tony Hawk like tells them to turn down the music. He's like, hey guys, turn it down. He goes, you know, we got names, you know, and like, that's it. Like Tom DeLonge says that. And I remember like going on AIM and like having my status like, I don't feel good right now. So because I was like 13, right? Like, imagine that now. Every time my friend talks about it, because my best friend's into Taylor Swift, she's seen her twice, which is expensive as hell. But like her tour itself, like reshaped the economy. Like it really did. She has gotten so many music producers canceled. She's gotten so many companies like to go under fire. Now she might start a lawsuit against AI for using her images.
I just heard. So AI made Taylor Swift nudes. Did you see them?
Yeah, they were all over Twitter. You can't, and that's the thing is that you can't avoid this stuff because she's so big. It's like I just turned on. I was like, well, that's not a thing I wanted to look at today.
I was wondering when AI nudes with celebrity faces was gonna happen, and it happened quicker. Or actually, I'm surprised it didn't happen before.
I'm sure it did happen. Like I'm sure. Like we're obviously not people on the internet looking for celebrity nudes, but I'm sure there's even on porn. There's impersonators, which.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about impersonators. Yeah. That was like a whole other thing. But there was a name for, actually, I remember when I saw the Taylor Swift thing, I saw a comment that was making fun of like people saying this was new. I just remembered that. And there is a name for like celebrities with like fake naked bodies. That is some deep dive that some pervs are into. I feel like if it's not their body, why is it turning you on?
It'd be really funny if somebody replicated every tattoo I had. I'm like, good luck with that. Yeah, have fun.
That would be tough. Before I get into the impersonations, though, I didn't see the pictures yet.
Well, they're not good. They very much look like AI, but like some guy tweeted
her fingers are
like that's the thing. It's always the hands. It's always that weird like soft shit, and it's like they're not good. And obviously they're fake because if you know who Taylor Swift is, it's like she is on paper an angel. Like she would never do something like that. She's if you've ever seen her interview, she's like so like she's so giggly, and so she was apparently her rep was like, we're pissed about this, we might do a lawsuit. And I was like, and this is when people come to support her because a lot of people hate Taylor Swift, which I don't understand. You just hate her because she's what, a woman?
Yeah, you don't have to hate her. You just don't like her.
They just don't like the fact that she's big. Like it's with anything. It's like when your comedy reels do really well, because then you get all the hateful comments.
Yeah, that's how you did great.
You 10 like we love you, and then they're like you should kill yourself. Like
I heard Walmart's hiring. Yeah, I always get that one. Like good one. What? I'm like, how did you know I love Walmart?
What a very specific. It's like that person applied at Walmart and didn't get it, and like, well, this bitch fucking it. He got fired from Walmart, and he just has anger. He's like, you should try working there then.
It's so weird.
But no, fuck. What were you just saying?
When people hate Taylor Swift.
No, people hate Taylor Swift. They come into support when things like this happen because they're like, if Taylor Swift sues like AI, fucking Mid-Journey and all that shit, then that shit's shut down because she'll win. Like she has that much power over everything. Yeah.
Did you see also the George Carlin special that was created by an AI? The whole stand-up special. Oh my
god, we should just have a whole AI episode.
Yeah, we'll do that. But he's getting the creator of that is also getting sued by George Carlin's daughter.
Good. Sue all of them, man, because like it's already bad enough that people have to like work. They have to work so hard to like make things happen, and it's like, well, what if we just take this program to do everything for you and steal your identity? Jesus Christ. But anyways, so let's talk about the impersonators because I've seen some like wild stories. So when we're looking up celebrity obsessions, it's like people who get
plastic surgery.
The funniest one to me though, because this is another thing I want to bring up, which I can't spend too much time on because this whole episode is the white dudes that try to look like K-pop idols.
Oh, that's weird. Like, I didn't see that.
Hey, stop trying to change your race. People are going to know very immediately that you're not Korean.
Yeah. Like, are you allowed to do that face? Like, is that okay? Because if you do blackface, you're going to be canceled like that.
Asian face?
Is it Asian face? I've never heard of Asian face.
They literally get like eyelid surgery to make their eyes look more Asian.
Wow.
Like they get their cheeks to be more like prominent. And I'm like, what the? And like,
have to look
here's
this
the
up.
thing, the before photo, they look fine. So that's how you know it's like a whole delusion in their head. But I mean, I've seen a bunch of them, but that one is always the funniest to me. It's like, what are you gonna do? Go on a date with someone? They'd be like, oh, you got some work done. Like, yeah, I'm trying to look like, Rap Monster from fucking BTS. It's like, but you're British and white and German. Like, what do you do? They're gonna know pretty quickly just by the way you look, talk, and act that you are not Korean. So anyways,
I feel like K-pop like fans are just like Swifties times a million.
Oh, they are so much worse than that.
I remember when what was the band you just said, so I don't screw it up?
Oh, BTS.
I remember when they were on SNL.
And so good. Sorry.
And I just remember there being tons of fans outside for just the band. Not that no one there cared about us.
And they probably didn't even sing the song. The K-pop thing fascinates me because when I went to Japan, you know, I'm obviously big into anime and video games. It's like the best place to go because I can see things that I can't see here, buy things I can't buy here. And when I went to Korea, there was like the hostel staying in. There was all these girls in my room. I was like, "What are you guys here?" Like, "Oh, we're K-pop fans." I'm like, "So you just went to Korea because you like K-pop?" And I was like, "Wait, why am I making fun of them? Am I literally doing the same thing, but 15 years older?" But at least it doesn't get to the point where it's like these K-pop girls. Like the good things is that I have a friend whose daughter's into K-pop and she started learning Korean because she loves K-pop so much. And I'm like, but that's cool.
That's
like
a positive.
You're learning a skill and now she wants to go visit. Like it's the same thing with me going to Japan. It's like those are like positive things that come out of things like that. But it's like getting plastic surgery to look Korean that's not good on any level.
No. So this was the most random one. So there's 3 people that I wanted to talk about. One, there's this girl she has 700 and something thousand followers on social media. I think it was TikTok. For looking like Ariana Grande. And I watched a video of her.
Was it plastic surgery or just impersonator?
Just impersonator.
Oh.
And the pictures of her look just
so
like...
she just looks like a normal white girl?
Wait, Ariana Grande is white?
She's like white, but like tries to not look white.
I know,
anyway.
it's so funny.
So she just looks like a girl who works at Abercrombie. Okay, anyways.
So this girl, I noticed that she had some resemblance to Ariana. And now like her whole life is taking photos and reels. She said she every day impersonates her. Her whole social media is just trying to look like her. But when I looked at the video of her, interview of her, she doesn't look like Ariana Grande. She can like make herself in photos and dress like it, but like straight up, like I was like, you don't look like Ariana Grande. This was the crazy thing. Ariana Grande DM'd her and
was like, please stop. Just kidding.
Her way of basically saying please stop was just to want to let you know that you look beautiful as yourself. Like something along those lines. Like you look beautiful as you. No, like, so keyword, look like yourself, you crazy bitch, and stop looking like me. I mean, that's what I took from what she said.
And what would and did the girl die because she finally got her DM?
Yeah, she was like, yes, Ariana Grande is so sweet. But like her whole life is just looking like Ariana Grande online. So that was one. Like, so you think you have a little
like
resemblance.
how do you, I get like if you're like a clown, like you put on makeup and you're in your clown, like what does her personality turn into Ariana Grande?
I think so. It's just like that actor that played Elvis and then after he kept the Elvis voice.
I like that we're talking about celebrity obsessions while talking about celebrities like on this podcast. Like I would not know what to do if I just listened to a podcast and they're just talking about me for an hour. I'm like, fuck yeah, actually.
So there's that one. And then the other 2 were the plastic surgery. So random. So there's a guy that he spent $75,000 to look like Madonna.
Who has this money?
That's a great question.
Like, they're like, oh, my surgeries are $100,000. I don't even think I've ever owned $100,000 collectively.
No. They probably have debt. But first of all, I thought it was funny that it was a guy playing Madonna.
That is wild to me.
Like, that's a lot of surgery you have to do.
Yeah. And also, what year of Madonna? Because Madonna's like gotta be in like her 60s now. So is he trying to look like 60-year-old Madonna, 30-year-old Madonna?
I think like top shelf Madonna, which
is not relevant. Because it's like, so say obviously there's something not right about these people, but say you actually perfect it, you look just like Madonna. no one knows who you look like because everyone who listened to Madonna is not online, basically. Like they're all like in their 40s and 50s enjoying their families and life. So you did a thing that you're like, I want to look like them because what, you want to be the inside of their body? Like what is that's I always want to know what the motivation is.
There's just they probably I think they want to be them.
I'm fascinated by like Megan Fox and MGK's relationship because to me that's like Gen Z's Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie. It really is. Like they drink each other. We get it. You guys fuck. Okay. We know you guys have sex. We get it, right? But like people will like they'll revolve their own lives around it. Like people will purposely like try to look like Megan Fox, which great. That's a great celebrity, but no one's ever gonna look like her. It's the same thing with Angelina Jolie. You're never gonna look like her. But it's like people will like again get so obsessed with people's relationships. And it's like the Travis and Taylor thing. You don't know these people. Like be like, oh, that's really cute. They kissed. Move on with your life.
Same with like Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber.
It's been an ongoing thing. It's like our own soap opera. And it's again, it's like I feel like I say you don't know these people so much, but it's like there's no other way to put it. It's like unless you have been personally involved in any of this, it's just fascinating to see how many people, and then me, I get obsessed on the outside of it because I'm fascinated by people who are obsessed with it, and then I have OCD, and then it becomes my entire life. I was up till 2 a.m. I didn't know Taylor Swift had 7 Wikipedias, but
that's crazy that the Swifties have their own Wikipedia.
But I also think that's what makes her kind of awesome is that she knows she has this much power, so now she wants to use that power for good. And that's kind of why I want to talk about our personal celebrity obsessions because of how much the internet has changed over the years, because you have all these impressionably aged people from the ages of 12 to fucking 25. Your brain isn't fully developed. Sorry, pedophiles, until you're over 25. They're going online and they're like, they just want to talk about their emotions. So like we go back to the Blink-182 Simpsons episode, right? I remember specifically going on AIM, talking to my AIM boyfriend at the time and being like, that's so fucked up. They only gave him like a second, all this stuff, like fuck the Simpsons. I think I stopped watching the Simpsons after that.
No way.
I really did, because I think that was like season like 10 or something, 15 or something. It was after the Simpsons kind of fell off for me, but I think that was it. I think I was like so upset that I was just like, I do not support this show anymore. Simpsons is canceled. Even though I rewatch it all the time now.
You've moved on.
But I'm like, I remember how shitty I was as a kid and how like crazy I was about like all my favorite bands and emo artists. And I'm like, imagine if I had that access to the internet like I did now.
It would be dangerous.
It would be dangerous because you didn't have anyone giving you consequences.
No, and you didn't know how to control yourself.
No, that's why when I see people get canceled for tweets from like 2009, I'm like, yeah, we were all terrible back then. Why? This is like, they'll be like, this person posted on MySpace 20 years ago that they hate blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, we lived through rotten.com and E-Bombs world. Like we were desensitized to the world. We learned over time that things are not good and we don't say those things, but teenagers now, they don't know better. They just want to be angry and react because they're getting pimples and not fucking. And I get it, man. I'm in that phase of my life right now.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
But I do think that would be like so basically guys, it's okay to love celebrities and to deep dive into things like that, but like just don't try to start a conversation with them and don't try to make things dangerous. Like just remember they're humans. There
were so many videos on YouTube that were how to get over your celebrity crush.
Get it tattooed on you. It's like a trophy.
It was like, ask yourself these questions. Are they my friend? Or like, and it was like, tell yourself you're never going to date them. Like it was like mantras and questions and like, but the amount of like when you type in celebrity obsessions on YouTube, it's how to get over your celebrity crushes and how to move on.
That is insane to me.
That there's that many people that need that.
And the sad thing is that, you know, obviously, except for the people who are like getting plastic surgery, the majority of them are children. Like they're young kids. Like,
because it says that a lot of this goes from people wanting to feel a sense of a community and to belong with something. And no one is more lonely than teenagers.
Right.
So that's...
And me.
So that's why teenagers and Lisa obsess with with things like that.
Yeah.
You want to be in a group, and that's why these Swifties love it. They could go on their Swiftie fan pages and just constantly, it's a distraction from life.
Yeah.
And this was another thing that I thought was so funny. There was the talk or like something like that, some like ABC talk show that did a segment on if you are obsessed with a celebrity, or like if you have celebrity obsessions, like just the thing at all, does this mean you have lower intelligence?
Yes.
It said they did studies and it was yes.
Does that apply to video game characters? Because I'm really like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done this episode. I'm gonna rethink my life now.
I don't think it applies. But what they were saying is like the lower intelligence, they think that maybe that comes from only using their brain to focus learning the celebrity stuff to where they're not.
How OCD works.
Yeah.
Lisa, you need to get a job. Or I could just look up more Taylor Swift facts. It's fine. I did want to talk about, though, because we haven't gotten into it. I want to know, because, like, yes, in my head, the only thing that makes me feel safe is, like, it's probably a 50-year-old man behind the keyboard, but I'm playing, it's a 17-year-old kid. It's a 17-year-old kid. This is why I will get in this argument, because I should not. There's another tweet that I think about where it goes, anytime I have to see a 14-year-old opinion on the internet, it is awful. Like, it is. It's like, you don't know what you're doing. We get it. You're sad. You're angry. You're horny. You're greasy. We get it. Okay, but shut up.
Travis Kelce's tweet.
Yeah, I want to know. Yeah, I spent a squirrel. It's so funny. I have to send it to you. But yeah, I want to talk about who we were obsessed with.
Yeah, we've got some hot takes.
We have some hotties too. I want to know who yours was.
Yeah, mine lasted for all throughout high school. I was fully obsessed with the one and only Billie Joe Armstrong. It was so bad to where the fact that like everyone in high school knew me as Mandy Martino, obsessed with Green Day and Billie Joe Armstrong. Like that was who I was.
That was your whole personality. Being obsessed with Green Day is so dorky to me. I mean, I saw them live with Blink-182 and they were blew out of the water. They were one of the greatest bands I've ever seen live. But it's so funny how it's like when you think about it, when you were like 14 years old or 15 or whatever, you were obsessed with like a mid-30s like dude. Like it's like
this is the thing. It's like I was thinking about this earlier.
Do you have the time?
Just cut my pants. No. I get so excited. So this is a fun thing too. Like when you are obsessed with something, like anytime to this day, like people are like, oh, Green Day's on the radio, thought of you. Like everyone does that kind of thing when you're associated with something. But this was the thing I was thinking about was like, you said he was like in his 30s. I was 15 to
he could have been your
18.
dad. But yeah.
I never, as much as I was obsessed with him and thought he was super hot and like attracted to him, I never had like wet dreams about him or thought of him sexually.
Must have been nice.
It is weird that I don't even know why I didn't. Like, I mean,
How did the obsession start? Obviously you loved Green Day, but do you remember what it was that was the big switch?
Just the music videos.
It's so funny because if you watch those music videos now, you're like, what a dork.
Oh no, still good. Still good to me. No dork.
Did you ever get to meet him?
No, but I'm going to. We're
manifesting it.
Yes, I'm going to his
Billie Joe Armstrong. I always said Billie Joel Armstrong.
That's funny.
Billie Joe Armstrong, if you're listening to this.
I'm coming for you.
And Anya.
I'm sorry.
Don't.
So he had a son when I remember thinking like, okay, his son's really young, but like when I'm older, could I date his son? And I had like these thoughts in high school, and I was like, oh, Billy's married. I want to disrespect.
Imagine you've had like the internet back then. You had Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff.
You know what I had, which was like
you'd be making those fan edits.
It would be a lot. Make babies of our faces together. What we did have back then was eBay. And let me tell you, that was like Amazon to me.
What is the weirdest Billie Joe Armstrong thing you bought?
I wish I could remember. I have bins of just all of their posters signed, like
That's fucking badass though.
I like signed records and like just whatever was on eBay of Green Day. I just bought everything.
And you're even wearing green, and you have green in
Look
the
at
background.
that.
It's a Green Day, guys.
Oh, my room was black and white checkered floors, black wall, green wall, black wall.
And you have
green
any
wall.
pictures of it?
I have some in the
You
of
gotta
the room.
post it so you can be the next Reddit emo girl. You need to.
Oh, I wore my sideways belt.
I just love that. Is so fat. Were you okay? But were you obsessed with other bands too, or was it just like Green Day and then everyone else was nothing?
I mean, I liked other bands, but there was no other obsession. It was Billy Joe.
I really just want
Green
to talk
Day.
about Green Day now. I'm like, what's your favorite album? Like,
Definitely Dookie. Yeah. Then I remember being in the halls in high school, and like my friends would be like, "All right, would you do this to like meet Billy Joe Armstrong?" Like saying like eat dog shit or like nasty
yes.
things, and every time it was like a yes.
like, why are you asking me these questions?
I will do anything.
I will murder your mom to meet Billy Joe Armstrong if he visits me in prison.
But it's such a random thing. I think like when you find a band that you like and a singer that you like, it gives you, it does give you, I didn't feel like a community, but it gives you a distraction.
It is, and it's also like, it's kind of inspiring too, because my Green Day was Tom DeLonge, which is an even dorkier version of Billy Joe Armstrong. And it started when I was 4th grade, because my sister had a burned copy of Enema of the State because we weren't allowed to own it because it was censored. So she got an uncensored version, and then my whole life revolved around Blink-182. I owned all their DVDs, the Urethra Chronicles 1 and 2. I also had VHS tapes where they would like do concerts at like skate events that you couldn't get anywhere. Some of them are probably worth money. I still have them. I skipped 6th grade camp to go see them, which is a big deal. Okay. It's detrimental to my personality of skipping 6th grade camp. And I kept the shirt and wore it last year. I bought a men's small Pop Disaster 2002 shirt, and I saw Blink-182 last year and wore the shirt, and it still fit me. My titties my nipples were flat, but back then
they were introverted.
Yeah, they were going back into my body. But back then I dressed in like loose clothing, so it still fit me. And everything. I had the biography book, Tales from Beneath Your Mom. I remember, these are things that I can't remember the lyrics to the national anthem, but I can remember the name of every fucking Blink-182 quote, song, everything about them. All of his history. He's been with his wife forever. Like, and this is where the things switch. It's like, because as I got older, it's like the Billy Joe thing. You start to really read into who these people are. Your brain fully develops. You're like, he's kind of a weird guy. Super obsessed with aliens. He's done some weird ass interviews. And then I listened to their new album. I was like, why are you talking about fucking girls in church? You're 50 years old, bro. Right?
Thought that
the Green Day, Green Day doing the same things with their music. It's
Green Day has aged gracefully, and their new albums are mature, and they're growing with us. The new Blink-182 was
It was our first fight. Just kidding.
It was like a midlife crisis.
Yeah, they've had some mishaps, obviously, with Angels of Airway. I was also obsessed with Boxcar Racer, but like, yeah, everyone knew me as a Blink-182 girl. Everyone did. And to this day, people will still message me like, dude, every time I hear Blink-182, I think about you.
Isn't that so funny?
I still have Atticus shirts that you can't get anywhere. I buy them still. Like, I do not care as much about Blink-182 now, but I still like hold on. I think it's also like a nostalgia thing. Like, you still kind of hold on to that younger part of yourself.
It feels, it's exactly what that is.
And then it's like, it's also my way of like showing my sign to like all the other emos is like, I wore the Atticus shirt on Chappelle's podcast, and somebody commented like, dude, the Atticus shirt, what the fuck? I was like, exactly. Because that was Blink-182's brand when I was like 12 years old, and they don't have it really anymore, but they still sell the shirts out of Europe.
That's cool.
And so I'd order them from fucking Europe. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like, and then I also had another celebrity crush.
Who was the other one?
It's Christian Bale.
That's not weird.
It was weird when you're like 14 because I'm like, who is not even 14. I should say like 12, because it was right after American Psycho came out. And I remember telling my parents, and like, where were you watching American Psycho? You're like in 5th grade. That movie is horrible. And I was like, I love him. And so I remember I watched every single Christian Bale film that came out, like even the ones that weren't that good. And one that I will never forget about, and I don't know. Do you know a lot about Christian Bale movies?
I mean, I've seen some.
He's kind of a guy. And then this is why I was so fascinated by him, is that he is very big of a method actor for not that good of roles. So like his big one was like The Machinist, which is like an okay movie, but he lost like 100 pounds for it. He was like dirt skinny, and then immediately gained 100 pounds back for Batman. I'm like, that cannot be good for your health, right?
No, it's really bad for you.
But I remember I watched this movie called Equilibrium, and I was obsessed with it. And it is an awful movie. And people will be like, actually, that movie's great. It's not. Stop it. It was it came out the same time as a Matrix. It was like a Matrix ripoff, and like they called it gun kata. It was like gun karate. And the movie was not good. And I watched it like every week, was like, because he's just so hot. He's just such a hot man to me. And I was like so obsessed with him. And I remember making my dad watch Christian Bale movies. I was like, my dad must really love me, because I made him watch so many bad movies. And like some of them are still kind of hold up. Like I watched Rewitched Reign of Fire, where it's like him and Matthew McConaughey like battle dragons or whatever.
I haven't seen any of these.
And then this is the weirdest transition, is that Christian Bale is the reason why I started getting into anime.
Really?
Because he voiced Howl in the English dub of Howl's Moving Castle, which is a Miyazaki film, Studio Ghibli. And then from there, I started watching all the Studio Ghibli movies. Like, that is the weirdest connection ever, because it's like I want to see everything that he's been in, and then I got into anime, and now I don't even associate Christian Bale with anime, but that was where it all started. So it is weird that kind of transition to it. But man, if I had the internet, I would say some vile things about Christian Bale online. I had a giant poster of him shirtless in my room, and I was like, how did my parents allow this? Like, just coming over and there's like nipples all over my wall of Christian. It's like when boys had like Playboy posters.
I was gonna say that.
I had like the one where he's looking in the mirror in Batman. I had the one where he's like I don't know if he's like in the shower or something, but it's like him in American Psycho, and I'm like, why? I had an American Psycho blanket. It was bad. And now I need therapy. So there you go.
I actually do have an actor celebrity crush. Billy, don't worry, you're still number one. I was obsessed with Heath Ledger.
Okay, but I mean, who
wasn't, right? So
Bless
obsessed.
his heart.
To this day, if like someone says like, who do you think is the hottest celebrity? Who's your celebrity crush? I go, I haven't moved on. It is Heath Ledger, and he will never be replaced.
No, absolutely not.
No one can replace him.
I remember that's also when I realized I liked kind of like weird guys, because 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh God.
I remember watching that movie, and I remember like getting in an argument with my cousins, and one of them was like, I don't know why Heath Ledger played him. He's not cute. And I was like, what? Fuck you. Like my 8-year-old self being like that, because I was like, excuse me. And then I realized like, oh yeah, like those are the type of guys I probably like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Knight's Tale.
Oh.
I'm so glad we didn't have the access to the internet back then, because I would be canceled for many things that I've said about many men's nipples. I remember I would like, there's back to the Blink-182 thing. I remember in their music videos, they always run naked. Mm-hmm. Like it's always their thing, and you can't see anything. But I remember like, this is how bad it was when we were young, is that we actually had to take time out of our day to look up things online. You had to wait for videos to buffer. You had to wait for things to download. You're putting viruses on your computer. No one could use the phone. It was a commitment to go online. And I remember I would sit there and wait for like the Man Overboard music video, or What's My Age Again music video, to load for like 45 minutes. So I could pause at the part where you can kind of see his butt. And then I remember I printed a photo off of it using a not a photo printer, an ink printer, which by the way is insane. That takes like 3 hours.
That's a lot.
And I put it on my wall. In fact, there's a viral photo of me where you can see some of the Blink-182 stuff that's in the background of my thing. Have you seen that photo? Yeah, it was bad, but I was just like, as much as I want to shit on teenagers now, I think it's dangerous because everyone can see it.
Yeah.
And everyone can reply to it, including the people that's about. But I can't, because I was like, man, I was far worse back then.
I kind of liked that, like, when I was obsessed with Billy Joe Armstrong.
It gave you a personality, basically, too.
I liked, though, that it was just for me.
Yeah.
Like, I would go on...
Oh, yeah, I would murder anybody who else liked him. I would ruin their lives.
Yeah, I didn't have to go online and see their Instagram and see all of the people who felt the same way as me commenting. So I'm kind of like, I didn't do it for the community. I'm glad there was no community.
Yeah, and then community just feels the worst. Because I had an internet boyfriend.
What is internet boyfriend?
Can I end on this story because it's very cute?
Yes, let's do it.
So I had sorry, did you finish what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was part of the Blink-182 forums because we had forums. That's what we had. So I had like the Zelda forum. I was a mod on there. I had the Blink-182 forum, and that's how you found out about concert dates and like DVD releases and like the special videos that I would get, which wasn't porn. And I had a boyfriend from there. Like his name was Matt. He lived like on the East Coast or something. It might have been Mike. I don't know. Anyways, this is really cute. So we like became friends on the Blink-182 forums, and then we like started talking. We were both like 12. We're like, I love you, baby. Can't wait to meet you one day. And then like he'd be like, are you gonna get the new blah blah blah? And we talked for like a year. And I remember like being like, hey, you guys, I can't use the phone, and I gotta talk to like my internet friend, and it was my boyfriend, right? Well, then one day it just kind of fell off because we grew up. I turned 14 or whatever and got a life, started drinking. It was like, this is fucking stupid. Oh no, back then I'd be like, this shit's gay, because that's how we talked.
That's how you talked back then.
But then about 4 years ago, randomly, I was at a video game convention, and this guy walks up to me and he goes, this is really weird. Are you Lisa Wallen? I was like, yes. Why? He goes, so I saw a picture on Reddit from when you were 12 years old.
The one that went viral?
The one that went viral. And I did some deep dive because you were commenting about Blink-182. And did you have an internet boyfriend when you were in junior high?
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah, I did. And then he was like, that was me. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
He found you.
And he worked in video games. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he was working in video games or something else, but yeah, and now he's like, I don't know if he was like married or anything, but he was just like, yeah, it's like, this is just insane. It was such an insane, like, I've never had what? Like, right?
Did you know what he looked like back then?
No.
So this was the first time you
no.
ever...
I knew what he looked like. He was Asian.
Okay, you saw a picture of him.
But I didn't know what kind of Asian back then.
But you saw like a photo of him when he was younger?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his name was Matt. It was either Matt or Mike. But it was Matt or Mike Kim was his last name. So he could have been Korean. I think he was Korean. Don't cancel me, guys. I am Korean. I still can't tell. But I saw a picture of him because I had that photo, and I had a bunch of other photos of like my wall. We'd show off our thing, and he goes, I recognize the wall. The wall was there, and I was like, I know this. Like, it just unlocked a memory in my head. Now, if you're listening to this podcast, I don't know what he does. It was at E3. Rest in peace, which is the video game convention, and we talked for like 10 minutes, and he was like, yeah, I still listen to him, all this stuff, and I was like, this is insane. Like,
that is
what?
So crazy.
What? And like gave each other a hug, and
I love that.
I think we were supposed to add each other on something. We didn't. I mean, he's not my type. I know some people saying like, oh my God, I'm gonna get rehashed or rekindles. Like, I'm pretty sure he was like married. Like, I'm pretty sure he has a whole life, and I'm not in it. But it was just like just retelling the story, I'm like, I still can't believe that happened to me. And that all because of that one picture. The internet is a blessing. All because that one picture went viral. He remembered who I was. I was like, that is fucking crazy. But anyways,
I love that.
Yeah,
that is a great story to end on.
And I still have friends from those forums I see in person sometimes. Like, it's crazy.
See, there's some positives of the internet. You just have to control yourself.
Yeah, just don't dox people. That's all. Yeah,
don't
dox people. Make friends, but don't start a cult in the worship circle to try to summon Taylor Swift to your house or some shit.
It's not gonna work. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks, Lisa, for doing your podcast with me and my podcast with you.
Did you just thank me for being on podcast. Thank you for being my co-host. Honestly, it's the vibe though that I feel like I'm a guest on this podcast.
Really?
Because I did
The
your
first
podcast
time?
and it like set that in stone.
It doesn't feel like that to me.
But it's like an OCD thing. It's like, this is my memories being in this chair as your guest. So I'm just gonna be your guest for years. Like my guest host who won't leave, Lisa. No, if you guys enjoyed Weirdly Obsessed, which I hope you do. I think now we're kind of fresh, still trying to figure out the format of all this. But I do think, it gets better every week. So please subscribe, like, share, all the good stuff on all the things, and our Patreon, which we're not going to do anything with it right now because we do want to kind of,
Get
build
these all
it.
perfect.
But we want to start having people give us ideas or their obsessions that we can talk about on here because I think that'd be fantastic. So
Yeah, we need to start collecting them. It's going to happen eventually, sooner than you thinking. So yeah, send in your obsessions to weirdlyobsessedpod@gmail.com so we can start collecting. We're not starting the Patreon until you guys send in.
yeah, send us some shit, guys. But anyways, thank you for listening.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Bye.